Facts tell and stories sell. How do we photographers sell our packages by telling our stories? Hi everybody, this is Shen here, and today let's discover how can we actually sell our packages by telling stories as photographers. Well, I believe all of us as photographers, we are natural storyteller. That's because we tell our stories using our lenses. And many times instead of telling our own stories, as we accept some commission jobs, for example, weddings, then we are telling other people's stories using our own ears through our lenses, and that's how we actually translate other people's stories with our skill, with our experience. And today, I would like to share with you how exactly can we do that? How exactly can we tell our stories to close a deal for a wedding couple? So I've been starting shooting. I've been starting photographing weddings since the year of 2008. And the thing is that honestly, I didn't know how to close at that time, and usually my closure will be 100% from the web, but it wasn't effective. The most effective way I discovered later on in the year of 2009, when one of my mentors or good friends, whom he shared with me, that we have to meet the person, meet the couples, meet the prospects face to face, so we can close them, help them to understand us better, our products and services, our skill, our experience, so we can actually help them to understand, to close on the spots, and that is true storytelling. So what do we say? How do we tell our stories? Well, like many others, like those experienced marketers will tell you, yeah, it's about stories. You have to tell your stories from the beginning to the end, how you started, how you faced challenges, how you were defeated once and you came out and you up from the struggle and things like that. But to me, I think for wedding photographers, we are slightly different. So of course at the beginning, it is norm, right? It is a standard procedure that we get to know each other, that we probably will ask a few questions, like just to break the ice, just to understand them better, their background, and how, for example, how they got to know each other, what they are doing for livings and stuff like that. And at the same time, of course, they would love to know us, because nobody wants to be photographed by a stranger. So we gotta make friends, we gotta break the ice, and of course we probably can tell a bit of story for ourselves, of our background, how we started and things like that. But the main thing, the main point, the main focus of storytelling to close a deal for photographers is not about how much they know us as photographers. It's not about how experienced we are, what we've been doing, or the struggles we've faced, and how we came out from the struggles, things like that. It is not about that, but it is about how we present our work as a storyteller to them. That means we probably can use our past work, which we have photographed those weddings before, the albums, the samples, as reference to tell them stories. So in my studio, in my gallery, during the meetup with them, I'll prepare some samples, some sample albums for me as reference to refer to them. And of course, they have a chance to take a glance, take a look at all these samples. But at the end of the day, I have to make sure I take charge and I will actually tell my story to them. So before we even begin telling our stories, there is one very important thing about closure, is that we have to take charge, because we are the host, we are the person in charge to present, to give the offer to our prospects. So we have to make sure that we are taking charge. We are in charge of the whole meeting. That means we take control of the whole situation, of the whole environment, so they will actually listen to us. So this is very important. But because once you lost that control, basically your prospects will not be able to pay 100% of concentration in what you're saying, in what you're presenting. So the very first thing is to, let me repeat again, to take charge of the whole environment, of the whole meeting process. So that's something very important for us to learn. So after that, what I'll do is I'll show them some of the sample albums. For example, like over here, I'll show them all my sample albums, and And there's one very important point to note, that we try not to let the prospects hold the albums. So what we do is that, as I mentioned before, we have to take charge, we take control of the whole meeting, of the whole presentations, so we can do whatever we want to present. We can present whatever we want to present to them, so they will pay 100% of concentration, attention to us of what we want to say. So basically, I will hold the album instead of the clients, instead of the prospects. So what I'll do is I'll flip all my pages, all the pages of the albums, one by one, without letting them touch, without letting them flipping the pages, because I will have to take control with every page, that they'll be able to look at me, listening to me, and see what I have to say. Of course, they will be able to hold them, take a look, and appreciate them after the whole presentation, while they are in discussion whether they want to confirm the deal or not. So what I'll do is that, because we are natural storytelling, and we tell our stories through the albums, through our lenses, through our work and experience. So each and every photo here in this album, for example, there is a story. There's a story, and there's a reason why we unlock this scene, all right? This moment. There must be something that we want to tell. So of course, over here, what we can do is we probably can explain to our clients the reason we captured such and such photos, right? The reason we want these moments to be preserved, the reason we put these photos in this album, and this is how we present to them, and this is how they will actually pay full concentration to us, listening what we have to say. And of course, at the same time, we will be able to tell them what are the challenges in this wedding and how we overcome them. So what are the sweet things we love to see from the couples, how we actually prepare them, how we actually let them feel relaxed in front of cameras, and how we actually settle them down if they feel nervous. These are all the examples we can tell, and each and every of these photos, there is what do you call that? The story that we can translate to our prospects. So only after they have listened to our presentation, they have gone through the whole presentation, probably will take about 20 minutes, for example. Then I'll pass this album to them and let them hold and let them appreciate the whole thing, and let them take a closer look at this album, and only then I'll leave the room and let them discuss whether this is a good deal for them. So this is, in a way, to me, is more effective that I close wedding deals, and that is what I've been doing for the past many years. So I hope these methods we can actually take a reference. You and I can take a reference as well, and we can actually use this and try to implement and see what we can do during our closure, during our meeting our clients. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like this video, give us a comment, and in fact, let us know what is your biggest takeaway in the comment box below. Until then, I'll catch up with you, and this is Shen here. I wish you all the best.